Marking and quality assurance. Marking and quality assurance are vital processes in which all teachers must be familiar and well practiced. So, the marking process is awarding a mark to a student on the basis of their assignment performance. It is important for all teachers to be aware of the set criteria sheet, the student preparedness and overall student understanding of the task, and the overall learning goals for the assignment. So, through practical experience at Mary MacKillop, I saw multiple teachers marking assignments. So, normally, the marking is done by the individual teacher of the class. They print out all the assignments and have the criteria sheet right next to them. They're constantly checking the rubric to make sure that the standard the student should be receiving is due to the evidence found in their work. Feedback is then written all over the report and on the criteria sheet. In my own marking, I use different coloured highlighters to show the different parts of the rubric in the student's work. So, quality assurance is a 4-step process which takes a student's mark and ensures that it is fair, consistent, and it is a defensible judgment of achievement for that particular student. So, QA begins with establishing expectations. These expectations can include levels of respect for other teachers when using a collaborative process, or the understanding of the task, so breaking down what it actually is. This is important because all teachers conducting the process must feel valued and understood in order to get the best possible resolution of grades, and the teachers must also understand the student expectations of this assignment in order to ensure the students reach the intended outcomes of the assessment piece. So the second part is ensuring consistent understanding. So in order for this section to work fluently, teachers must be made sure of accessible elements. They have to have identified what they believe to be specific evidence which suits the correlating standard, and they must have found evidence from the students' work to support their standards. So it's important if teachers are not assessing the same criteria and they are not solid on the outcomes students are trying to achieve, then the marking and grading will vary. So I witnessed this at Mary MacKillop. Teachers would mark their own individual class. So 5 teachers would mark the one assignment. The head of department creates the assessment task and they create the criteria sheet. So all teachers involved have a 10-minute meeting where they discuss what the overall aim and intended outcomes are of the assessment piece. The criteria sheet is printed out and discussed. I thought this worked really well. All teachers that I saw really understood what they had to get the students up to in order to complete it, and then they knew what they were looking for in the report based on the criteria sheet. So the third is comparing samples and resolving ratings. This is probably the most important step of the QA process because it is when the teachers are questioning marks, they are questioning what the teacher saw in the report to award the standard that they did or the grade that they did. So I saw this done really well at Bremer State High. The teacher marked their own classwork and then all the subject teachers sat down and showed the evidence as to why they chose a specific achievement for that student. It was a very well-worked collaborative system. Once a school-wide or a subject-wide grade was given to that student, Bremer invites schools from all over Ipswich area to participate in a local school QA process. Each teacher brings a portfolio of work which has different standards, and then the teachers in specific faculty groups talk about why they believe it achieved that by using evidence, by using the criteria sheets that they used, and then they have a big discussion on whether they all think that it is suitable. Teachers then compare assessment hardness or intricacies and really discuss if the schools are assessing similar things and at a similar level. The last is feedback and feed forward. So this is important because the reflection allows you to acknowledge how you can improve your own marking and assessment standards for the next cohort of students. At Bremer, when they finished their big QA day with the local schools, each member wrote an email answering the questions listed below, and then the answers were then used at schools in discussion to improve reporting and to improve marking and quality assurance at an individual school level. The overall importance of marking in QA is it allows teachers to make fair and defensible judgments for student grades. That's why we do this. Having a trialed and tested systematic process enables all teachers to have a succinct set of guidelines which aid in the marking process, thus providing reliable and justified grading to students, which can be supported if issues arise with unhappy parents or angered students. So future strategies I will use is ensuring the students understand the assessment task going into it, and they are clear on what they need to do in the criteria sheet to achieve a good goal or a good grade. So marking, I will also endeavour to mark the assignment closely with the marking rubric and providing detailed feedback on the student's work. Simply just crossing and Xing is not good enough, and it is not well enough supported when dealing at a parent-teacher interview or creating reports from summative and diagnostic assessment pieces. I'm really a big fan of the collaborative QA process, so I will endeavour to find evidence, create expectations, make sure everyone's understanding, and really try and push for a collaborative process in schools that may not do it, like Mary MacKillop. And I think it's really important to involve everyone in the teaching faculty and subject to make sure that the students are really getting the correct grades. Thank you.